In this screwdriver project, you'll learn efficient workflows that aren't often covered in tutorials. We'll create curved patterns, use creative sketching techniques, and finish with a detailed rendering. You'll also see how to fix common mistakes along the way. Let's get things done in Autodesk Fusion. Start by saving your project with the clear, thoughtful name. Plan your design before jumping in. I'm creating two components, starting with the blade and shank. I'll create the handle component last so I can work on it immediately after it's active. Begin with the rectangle for the screwdriver. My first sketch is 100 by 15 millimeters. A fully constrained sketch shown in black ensures predictability. Use the arc tool to round the handle's shape. Sketch roughly, then use dimensions to constrain it. Keeping sketches simple and constrained gives you control. Trim any unnecessary parts before moving on. Activate the Revolve tool from the Create menu. Select your axis. Our only sketch profile is automatically selected. Learn the settings, but the defaults usually work. Use Fillet to round the edges without a new sketch. Add fillets to both edges now for better control. Add another fillet at the front for a smoother finish. This screwdriver feels too big. Update your sketch using the timeline. When the fillet throws an error, it's likely because the radius became too large. Adjust it and the problem is solved. Set up an offset plane. The distance doesn't need to be precise, just outside the screwdriver. I'll set mine at -75 millimeters for a good view while sketching. Use the S key for quick command access. Start your sketch on the new construction plane. Use the center point slot for this sketch. Don't forget to constrain it with dimensions. Revisit the sketch in the timeline and add the constraints. Dimensions in parentheses are driven. They don't control the design, but reflect other dimensions. Emboss is a powerful tool for raising or lowering sketch profiles on a solid body. Start by selecting your sketch profile, then choose the face or faces you want to modify. Keep an eye on the effect and depth settings. I'm switching to the Boss to lower the pin slot joint into the handlebar. Set the depth to -1 millimeter for this handlebar. Use rotation angle to achieve curved designs. Got a good explanation for what happens when the vertical distance is set to 30 millimeters? Drop it in the comments below. Add a fillet to the embossed pattern for smoothness. Don't worry about corner type settings, they don't apply here. If the pattern looks too big, change it now. It'll save time later. Add the appearance now to speed up the process later. Select faces individually on the handle. Create a circular pattern from the Create menu. Use features in the object type dropdown. If your design is centered on the origin, use the custom axis. Adjust the quantity if needed. Important tip: save your work before big recalculations to avoid crashes. After updating your sketch, everything downstream, the emboss, fillets, appearance, and pattern updates automatically. Finish the handle with final appearances. I'm going for a wasp-like color scheme. Love it or hate it, let me know in the comments. Last step for the handle. Make a hole for the blade. Use projected lines to cut a hole. Set to -50 mm. Save your project. This is a milestone. Start a new sketch on the bottom of the hole you made for your blade and shank. Start a new sketch on the hole's bottom for the blade. Save time by projecting the circle from the existing geometry. Use the extrude tool, E, to create the blade at 125 mm. Use a construction plane to sketch the tip. Start with a rectangle, then create a triangle inside. Constrain it fully before moving forward. Turn your line into a construction line with keyboard shortcut X or via the button in the sketch palette. Mirror the triangle to ensure symmetry. Extrude the mirrored profiles. Use symmetric direction and all for extent. Preview the design before confirming. Apply steel appearance to the blade for a polished look. The black and yellow theme ties it together visually, even if it won't last when used. Save this as another milestone. I missed one thing, a joint between the components. Let me know in the comments if you caught it. Turn off the grid and switch to shaded visual style for a cleaner view. Go to Scene Settings and set the background to Environment. Use rim highlights for better lighting. Zoom in and adjust as needed. Increase rendering quality if you want. Final thoughts. If this tutorial helped you, check the description for more learning resources. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment with feedback or suggestions. Happy 3D modeling and see you in the next video.